Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rekal Kodash. Of course, double honors go out to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who, through the Holy Spirit, continue to teach us His truth and wisdom. All right. This is Normal of the DC Camp, and today this is from Archimax.com. All right. From the political section, it says commentary. Slavery left a legacy of corporal punishment on so-called black communities. All right, and the author of this is K. Ward Summing. Initial K, middle name is Ward, last name Cummings, the Baltimore Sun. All right, and this came out 5 days ago. All right, getting ready to be 6. Alright, so right here it says a paragraph in the Colonial Vestry Book of Lynn Haven Parish from Princess Anne County, Virginia, dated 1723 through 1786, shows an entry of a slave who was sold. Alright, it goes on to say Lyon Gardner Tyler Jr., the grandson of John Tyler, the 10th President of the United States, died this past September. Let that sink in for a minute. Lyon Tyler, a man who died only last year, was the grandson of a man who was alive when George Washington was president. If that doesn't collapse your perception of time, I don't know what will. And what they're talking about here is something I've often said. This has not been long, people. All right. In the grand scheme of things, this is very short. Like, we have a mayfly existence as far as our lifespan is concerned now. It wasn't always that way, but yet and still. For instance, let's do this. You remember when this a-hole, this character here, I call him the Turtle Man, Mitch McConnell is his name. All right, he used to be the head dog as far as the Senate. All right, Senator. He used to be the majority leader. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday he opposes paying reparations for slavery, arguing none of us currently living are responsible for what he called America's original sin. I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago, for whom none of us currently living are responsible, is a good idea. The Kentucky Republican told reporters in response to a question about whether reparations should be paid or public apologies should be made by Congress or the President. First of all, I don't want your damn apology. All right? What's an apology going to do? In fact, what is reparations, in the sense that you're thinking about, going to do for people that you've ruined? You've taken everything from, all right, even their identity, because you got people over there in our land saying that they're us. All right, and have told that lie for centuries now. All right, and this with people over there in that region knowing that it's BS. Okay, not to mention people over here knowing that it's BS. All right, so here it is. This is why this right here is so important. Now, this guy, Lyon Gardner Tyler, that was in the other article, which is here, all right, he is the grandson of President John Tyler, who was the 10th President of the United States. Now, he lived to be 95, as it says here. Now, this was in let's see, published in 2020, let's see, updated November 2020. I believe, I want to get it straight now. I believe he died in let's see, hold on. I'm trying to make a point here. And here it is. Now, I want to be sure, because you know these, Junior is what I want. This is his father, but I'll get back to that. Crap, where is it? Here it is. 1925 to 2020. So he died last September. I just wanted to be sure. All right. So here it is, this a-hole, which is Mitch McConnell. All right. There is no one in law that will say, well, what does that have to do with anything? All right. This is all ill-gotten gains by people such as yourself. All right. One could say and be right. The whole world. This is what you did through what? Rape, robbery, murder. In fact, we got a scripture for that, so let's go there real quick. All right, that's why things that are happening now are happening because you're being taken out of power because you are, and I'm gonna get that next, an unjust man. This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8. It says, actually let's read 7. It says, pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Pride, all we got to read is Obadiah, all right, it's talking about these Edomites, these so-called white people, talk about pride. It says 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, and that's going down as I speak. All right. All these things are shaping up for this guy, these people, to be taken out in the worst way. All right. Because what's coming down here is people are gonna forget what happened in ancient Egypt. All right. So we're gonna have a new commemoration with what's about to happen to these devils. All right, back to the original article about corporal punishment as a legacy of slavery. All right, so it hasn't been that long ago. So now you got this guy. He died last September. He was 95 years old. So he was born in 1925. And as I said, his father, let's go back. His father, here it is here, Lion Gardner Tyler, was born in 1853, and he died in 1935. So he was roughly 10 years old, all right, between 9 and 10 years old when his father died. And his father, all right, let's get that, John Tyler, the president, all right, was born in 1790 in Charles City County, Virginia, and he died in 1862. So you get 3 generations there, all right, covering roughly, a long time. Okay, just the first 2 that I mentioned, I think, was like 152 years, all right, so that's just 3 individuals, all right. Wow, puts a new perspective on it, doesn't it? So these people are full of crap and hypocrisy, all right, and the world is tired of it. But anyway, it says, I just went over this guy, all right. It says, a man who died only last year. For Lion Tyler, time was indeed truly relative. He could look into his father's eyes and see centuries into our nation's past. It is a gift that most black Americans share with him. All we have to do is look into the nearest mirror. To most Americans, the institution of slavery is like a fairy tale whispering softly into the moss-colored branches of a distant cypress tree. But for black people, the pull of slavery across the centuries is like a net we cannot escape. Its persistently evident legacies are our constant reminder of this nation's sins. All right. All you got to do is remember the last couple of years has been this thing with pulling these statues down. We all know that was set up, all right, because this is all part of playing with our people's minds and emotions, all right, trying to get rid of that legacy, at least the visual part of it, all right, and also messing around with school curriculum and trying to, what's the word I'm going to use? We've been using a word lately, and it goes into psychological warfare, and it's called gaslighting. All right, and it's at its base, it goes into it's devil's forms of witchcraft and things of that nature. All right, because they're trying to convince you that you never had it so bad. All right, and one thing that's constantly brought up is this holla-hoax crap. All right, and they are so quick to say, well, get over slavery. All right, but why don't you get over that? After all, it never happened like you said it did, and there's so much evidence for that. But again, this is them trying to, because every time we bring up our history, they'll bring up that, and that takes the focus, and that's the intent of it. It takes the focus off of what happened to us. And so let's get a scripture for that, because again, these are some crafty devils. Let's go to Daniel 9. All right, because when you add things up, nothing that happened to them compares to what happened to us, and also what happened to us matches up with biblical prophecy. It doesn't match up to them. This is why, and this is me, that so much attention is put on the Talmud when it comes to those people, because the scriptures, when you understand who all the players are, when all other nations, when you who they are today, all right, then you get an idea what's going on. Not until then. If you're in the Christian church, you're not going to learn shit. All you're going to go down there is amen and dance around and look like an idiot, all right? But if you really want to know what's going on, you have to get into other languages. You may not be able to speak them, but you have to have a working knowledge. And that way, it will help you identify the players. This English stuff only, you're going to always be an idiot when it comes to learning the scriptures and learn what actually is going on and who this really applies to. All right. This is Daniel chapter 9 verse 12. It says, "And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem." Remember, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. All right. The land was made for the people, not the other way around. All right. All right. So let's see. Let's go back to this. It says, "Violence is the legacy of slavery that I am most familiar with. Violence and its consequences hang over me and my family like a long dark cloud reaching back through time. It haunts my dreams and colors my every interaction with the world. The dirty little secret about much of Black America is that violence disguised as corporal punishment is as much a part of our culture as jazz or black-eyed peas or church. According to a 2015 study by the Pew Research Center, black parents are more than twice as likely than white or Latino parents to use violence as discipline in the home. Journalist and Morgan State University professor Stacey Patton believes she understands why. She has written extensively about how masters who enslave people use violence to discipline them, and how those enslaved eventually embrace the practice. Now here's where it gets, I understand where she's coming from, but here's where, if you're not aware of what's going on and not able to separate the two, all right, this is where it's going to mess people up. Continuing on, it says, "Violence against children in particular was not a habit enslaved Africans brought with them to these shores. First and foremost, we're not Africans. And when you understand the term, the Africans aren't Africans. Africa is a surname of a Roman from the Punic Wars. When they conquered at least the northern part of that land, the name was given, all right, was put on that conquer, all right. And the same individual, Scipio Africanus, whose brother was Asiaticus, all right. See, this is where you gotta know the history, all right, and you can sift. It help you sift through the BS more or less, whether intentional or otherwise, all right. So, like I said, we are not Africans / Hamites. We never were. All right, so that's why we got to be able to separate the two, and it goes against the scriptures. Let's get some. This is, I can just stay in Proverbs. All right, this is Proverbs. Let's go to 13. This is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. Alright, we as a nation are being chastened. Alright, that's how you know who's who. That's one of the reasons how you know who's who. Case in point. Let's go to, this whole thing has been getting from having everything taken from us as a nation per Jeremiah 17 and 4, a whole who we are taken away. All right, that was part of the chastening. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 12. See, the so-called white man has gotten away with so much for so long, he actually thinks the Most High is with him, not realizing it's just the opposite. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6. It says, For whom the Most High loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son he is whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then ye are bastards, and not sons. So let's go see what that chastisement is talking about. It involves. Alright. If ye endure chastening. Alright. Let's see. That is Strong's. Well, hold on.
Strong's G 3809.
Paideia. Alright. The whole training and education of children, which relates to the cultivation of mind and morals, and employs for this purpose now commands and admonitions. How are you admonished? Now reproof and punishment. It also includes the training and care of the body. Whatever in adults also cultivates the soul, especially by correcting mistakes and curbing passions. Alright? Instruction which aims at increasing virtue. Chastening of the evils with which the Most High visits men for their what? Amendment. What? See? Let's get some more scriptures. So this is contrast to what our enemy has always taught us. You see how white kids treat their parents? Oh, hell no. This is, like I said, I can stay in Proverbs. Let's go to 22. Alright. I see what they're talking about, but it's easy to get confused. And what they were talking about largely that happened in order so you would get your children to act in front of the so-called white man, alright? But fuck him. This is for our nation. This is Proverbs 22 and 15, alright? It says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. All right, see? Now let's go to 2 verses up. He said, let's see, no. Next chapter over, hold on. This is Proverbs chapter 23. Alright. See, what these slick devils want is for what you have now. They took the father out of the home, and the so-called black woman was willing to jump ship, more than willing, because she thought she was impressed. That's why Gloria Steinem, that fake Jewish bitch, alright, they just had that, when was it, in 2018 or something like that, where her and that black bitch, I forget who it was, they struck that pose where they're standing side by side with, with their fist hanging up. Well, that bitch was working for the CIA, Gloria Steinem, and her purpose was, what? To break up the black family. She came out and said that. So, this is the dumb black bitch once again, alright, but hey, that's why Satan went to the woman first. This is Proverbs 23 and 13. It says, withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Part of that, what you have now with the kids, especially the young men. Now they grow up all emotional because they've been raised by the woman. They get out here and they pop off at the drop of a hat, not able to execute any kinds of wisdom, because when you go to Job 39 and 17, it goes under that, all right? Just a second here. Verse 14, it says, thou shalt beat him with the rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell. And that hell meaning what? The grave. Sheol. All right? Let's go to Proverbs 26. This is Proverbs chapter 26, verse 3. It says, a whip for the horse, a bridle for the ass, and a rod for the fool's back. There you go. In his next verse, actually 2, all right, are 2 examples of, but it's timing that separated 2. Verse 4 says, answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. And a lot of young jakes, this is what gets them caught up and gets them messed up or dead, all right? Because you feed into someone else's BS, and they're so emotional, all right? They just, and all it takes, just that quick, all right? This is Proverbs 29. This is Proverbs 29 and 15. It says, the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. There you go. Alright, so let's go to Sirach. See what this devil, whoops, what am I doing? Wrong one. What this devil has done, was succeeded in doing, is running a lot of game. That's all it comes down to on our people. In fact, let me get this verse first before I get what I initially was going to get, because what we're doing and why they're taking down all these videos and everything like that, we are attempting, and it's working, alright, to let our people first know who they really are and who they're not, alright. Learn who your enemy is. That's the most important thing, aside from learning who you are. Who is your enemy / enemies, alright. This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. preaching. Because what does Christianity do? Love everybody, taking everything out of context. Alright? And you notice with that, every Sunday, what? The most segregated day of any week. But our people don't pick up on that. You're taught to embrace everybody, and everybody else is taught to distance themselves from you. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. Alright, so now skipping down to, let's see, 12. Yeah, verse 12, Sirach chapter 30 verse 12 says, bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Alright. 13. Chastise thy son and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. Alright. Let's see. That's it on that. So, yeah, you're supposed to do these things to spare your son, so he won't get out there and do what a lot of our people end up with. And then they justify themselves in it, talking about these police and others. Alright? All this also goes back to the curses that are put upon us that we're still under. Alright? All this comes together once you understand, and that's what we're trying to do here. And even what? The whole nation, alright? Because we are that bride as a nation, and the bridegroom is who? Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, Yahweh. Alright? So all this has been, as I've just stated, when you're talking about earthly parents, what about our heavenly parents? Alright? We're getting whipped into shape, alright, for Yahweh Shai. Isaiah 11th chapter, alright, comes into mind. Let's get that real quick. And I think I'll close out with that. This is Isaiah 11. Alright. In 1 it says, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. Alright, let's examine that rod. Let's see. Alright, that's Strong's H2415. Cotter, branch, twig, rod. Alright. It says from an unused root of uncertain signification, a twig, rod. Alright. Let's see. A staff. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. But the point being, this is 4. But with righteousness shall he, I might as well just read on down. Verse 2, hold on, it says, and the Spirit of the Most High Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Most High Yahweh, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Most High Yahweh, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth, and he shall smite the ear with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. Alright, so the thing is, when the Lord, Yahweh Shai, comes back, once he gets that word, all things are going to be put under subjection to him. Point being, there will be order. Alright? And that that's what the rod ultimately does. It reestablishes order. All right? And that's what we're doing out here on the highways and byways. What? With our mouth. Let's go to, all right, because some of our people want, I don't know, they think they can offer a challenge to Esau using his blessing, which is the sword. All right, no. The truth is going to win out. This is Hosea chapter 6 verse 5. This is what's got these devils on edge. Ain't nothing really they can do about it. This is Hosea chapter 6 verse 5. It says, "Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets, I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth." All right, these words telling everybody what this devil has done, all of his crimes, the truth of who he really is. All right, and no, the Edomites were never extinct. All right, why? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4. See, they're trying to bury this, and this technology as it is, the web in particular, which is used to wake our people up, but it had another effect, and it's revealing, 2 Thessalonians, 2nd chapter, it's revealing who the son of perdition is and who is the enemy. It says, Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 16, "There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit." It is. All right? Because he's tried to hide who he really is. He tried to glory in, well, we are the Greeks. All right? And he took particular books out of the Bible originally, which was the Apocrypha, and it tells you in Maccabees, first Maccabees, first chapter, who's who when it pertains to the Greeks. All right? They descend from Edom. Alexander's father, Philip, all right, the second was the first of his kind as a so-called white man to rule over Greece. All right, the Etruscans and those peoples, they were originally a dark-skinned people. That was Japheth. All right, and all you have to do is go into Genesis 10th chapter. Wow, so I don't know how much time I took. Oh my goodness. But hopefully, you know, I was able to edify. All right, that's what we aim to do here at Great Millstone. All right, in hopes of waking up the remaining hopefully late. So with that, yeah, once again, this article here about ultimately trying to say in a way that corporal punishment for our people is bad. You have to be able to separate what they're trying to say here, you know, with the history and everything as it pertains to slavery, and what they're actually supposed to do is according to the scriptures. All right, that will actually save your child. All right, so with that, once again, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Corporal, and once again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. So with that, Shalom.